And how many of them off the top of your head would you say want to see you again or have expressed interest in seeing you again?
I'd say maybe half of that, so maybe 5 to 7 people.
5 to 7. Okay, then now out of these 5 to 7 people that have expressed interest in you, would you know where to find them if you needed to, or is it possible that you could see them again?
I think half of those people I can locate.
Okay, so that's what we're going to have to look at right now.
Okay.
So instead of looking at those big numbers, we'll look at the small numbers. And so right now you would say there's approximately, say, 5 people that would like to see you again of
that
all
I know
the people
how to
that you've
locate.
met, and that you know how to locate.
Yes.
Yeah, that would
About 5 people.
Right. So now the ones that would like to see you again and you don't know how to locate, how do you know they want to see you again?
I technically don't. It's just a hunch.
I got you. Okay. So out of the 5 people that you've met that want to see you again, and you said you will be able to locate them.
Yes.
And there's about 5. About 5, according to how you're counting, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so I understand there's the last event we went to, they're going to have another event coming. No, not the last event, the event before last. They have an event coming up.
Yeah.
And that's in June?
Was it June? Yes, it's June.
Sometime in June.
Yes.
Okay, so how many people at that June event will you say you want to see again that you met at another event?
3 for sure.
3 for sure.
Yes.
And how many of those people do you think want to see you?
I think all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Okay. Now, the last event we went to, how many people do you think you'd like to see again at the last event?
3 of them.
And how many of those people do you think want to see you again?
I think 3 of them.
3, okay. But there's no event or no repetition of contact set up?
Not yet, no.
Okay. But we do have their phone numbers.
Yes, we do.
And so then I'll nudge it, I'll edge it. That's what I do as the mentor. I will set something up, and then we will see what happens from there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, even though you are meeting people at these events, the number one way I would encourage you to meet people would be through random encounters.
Random encounters.
Yes, random encounters, because we talked about that earlier when we were going over the dice games and the crap games, and the difference between the randomness of a casino in terms of the win and the randomness of meeting someone in person for marriage in terms of the win. Because the randomness is different, as we talked about and explored.
Yeah.
So now, as we start working on... Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think people are difficult to meet? I mean, people do say, people in general, are they difficult to meet?
I think so.
Okay. And why do you say that?
I'm encountering a lot of closed off energy.
From people in general?
People in general.
Now, are they closing off to you, or do you think they're closing off to the world?
I think they're closed off to the world.
I see. Okay. And what do you mean by closed off to the world? Give me an example of a human being that's closed off to the world.
They're no eye contact, constantly on their phone, just not looking up and out, I think is the simplest way to put it.
All right. Now, have you ever seen individuals that were out doing their thing and you said to yourself, wow, I'd like to get to know that person?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so what would prevent you from meeting that person?
Not having a reason to talk to them.
Not having a reason to talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a difference between having a reason to talk to them and having something to say.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I see your point. I don't think I have something to say to them other than hello. Okay.
And have you ever said to someone you've never seen before, how do you do?
I don't think so.
Okay. Or how are you? Okay. Because you know that can work. Because it does require an answer. When you say hello, that's a reflex.
Yeah.
When you say, how are you doing, then you'll get an answer.
True. Yeah. I mean, I've said it to like cashiers because I'm making polite conversation.
Mm-hmm. Now remember, cashiers are people too.
Yes, they are.
Now, the problem with cashiers is that they are paid to talk to you.
Yes, they are.
So, yeah, they're kind of like mercenaries, you know. They're a hired hello.
They are a hired hello.
Yeah,
Oh.
so they're like, so that means if they do not want to say anything
Yeah.
and the boss is looking, you're going to get a hired hello.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, now there are still people and you can still meet them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can practice on them. Even though they're a hired hello, you can say, all right, well, this person's hired to say hello to me. And I'll say hello.
Practice is good.
Now, how can you practice on a cashier to prep yourself for a random encounter that's not a cashier, who is not a hired hello, who is someone that's a freelancer? You know, he can freelance hello or freelance nothing, you know. Okay, so let's talk about that cashier again. Have you ever shopped at Trader Joe's?
Yes, I do shop at Trader Joe's.
And when you check out at Trader Joe's, has the cashier ever said to you, so what are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Gosh, that's their canned line, isn't it?
Yeah, so what are you going to do the rest of the day? How's your day going?
That's their line.
Okay, now how would you respond to that?
I tell them, I'm here so I can cook dinner, or, I've got some stuff to do. I'm excited to get home.
Okay, now you want to flip that.
Okay.
What you do is, now I want you to play the Trader Joe's guy, and I'm going to play the shopper. Okay, ready? I'm checking out my groceries. Go.
So what are you doing the rest of the day?
That's a really good question. What are you going to be doing the rest of the day? I'm just kind of curious because I know you work really hard. You're putting in that time, energy. How are they treating you around here?
Oh, that's so good. I love not answering people's questions.
No, but
that's spot on.
Okay, well, like how are they treating you? Now, I want you to play, you stepped on a character.
I'm sorry.
You got to be the Trader Joe's character.
I got too excited.
Okay, so I'm asking you the question. So tell me, how are they treating you around here?
Oh, that's a good question. How are they treating you around here?
No, you're the cashier.
Oh.
You would never do that. Cashiers don't do that. Now you're fencing. What I'm saying is you are the cashier.
Okay.
And how would the typical Trader Joe's cashier answer that question? How is your day going?
Oh, things are great here.
And how are they treating you here?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. And what are your plans later?
Oh, well, I got a while to be here still.
And what do you do when you're not here? Like, I'm sure you have a life. I mean, I actually say that. And so,
Okay.
And so what they do, and let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I met a wonderful lady doing that. Because what I said to her is, so what do you do when you're not here? She goes, I actually work on, and I go, well, what do you do there? She goes, well, I'm not a choreographer or anything. I'm just involved. And she listed all these different things that she did. And I said, how interesting. I said, I do things similar, but I'm more so working with actors. I do films to help address conflict resolution, primarily geared for mentors and coaches and things like that. She goes, well, I don't mind acting. She said, that's why I got into this whole thing. And I never got an acting gig. I just found myself over here working with Dancing with the Stars. And I'm not doing any acting at all. But I am in the industry. But I'm not acting. And so I had a hit.
Yeah.
I got a number.
Okay.
I have somebody to network with. All because I didn't fall for the line, what are you doing for the rest of the day? And I responded by saying, well, just same old, what about you? And then I probed, because remember, I'm looking to gain a friend. She's looking to do her job.
Oh.
So this is the switch where you're saying, okay, the person behind the cashier is doing their job. I'm looking for a friend. I don't care if this person's a cashier or not. I don't care what their gender is or anything like that. I'm a spiritual person and I'm on a spirit journey and I'm going to find out about this person if they let me. And if they're open to conversation, they got themselves a friend. Got it?
Good stuff.
All right, give me a high five, girl. Well, that was a handshake. Give me a high five. Ow, that hurt.